done it all. Nothing surprises him anymore. But then, he stops. Abruptly, his gaze is locked on something that seems completely out of place, yet perfectly at home. Resting against a simple wooden bench, almost casually, is a Barrett .50 caliber sniper rifle. Its long, formidable barrel glints in the harsh sun, looking less like a tool and more like a sleeping dragon. The general's eyes narrow. He knows weapons. He knows that this particular rifle is an instrument of immense power and precision, a beast that demands more than just strength to tame. That weapon doesn't belong to beginners. It belongs to someone who has danced with the wind. And it belongs to an artist whose canvas is distance and whose brushstroke is a single, perfectly placed shot. He scans the area, and then he sees her. She's sitting on the bench, her back to the rifle, calmly cleaning a pair of high-powered optics. She's small-framed, her movements economical and steady, a stark contrast to the massive weapon behind her. She seems almost serene, a pocket of calm in this chaotic world. The general approaches, his curiosity overriding his authority. As he gets closer, his eyes drop to the small, unassuming badge pinned to her uniform. A sharpshooter's badge. But it's the small, engraved number beneath the crossed rifles that makes his breath catch in his throat. 3,200 meters. A distance that is, by all accounts, impossible. The general's voice is low, almost a whisper, stripped of its usual command. He's not talking to a subordinate, he's talking to a myth. That's a hell of a badge, Sergeant. Who signed off on it? Expects a name, a commanding officer, a witness. He doesn't expect her answer. She looks up, her eyes clear and direct, holding his gaze without a hint of ego or bravado. She simply says, "The record, sir." The record signed itself. A profound silence falls over the immediate area. The soldiers who were milling about, going through their daily routines, now stand still. The words hang in the air, heavy and charged. Whispers begin to ripple through the crowd like a shockwave. They look at her, then at the badge, then back at her. It's a look of dawning recognition, of disbelief, of pure, unadulterated awe. They aren't looking at a soldier anymore. They're looking at a ghost. The ghost of the 3,200. She wasn't always a legend. In fact, she was the opposite. She was never the strongest recruit in her class, never the tallest. She was the quiet one, the one who blended into the background, the one everyone overlooked. During physical training, while others grunted and strained, showcasing their brute force, she was studying, observing, while her squad mates wrestled with the sheer weight and recoil of the .50 cal rifle. Fighting against it, she learned to work with it. She listened to the wind, feeling its subtle shifts on her skin, while others cursed the shifting desert sands and the unpredictable mirages they created. She read them like scripture, learning to see through the distortion, to find the truth in the haze. She understood that sniping wasn't about overpowering the elements. It was about becoming part of them. Her first real test came during a routine convoy escort. It went wrong, fast. They were ambushed, pinned down in a narrow canyon by a well-entrenched heavy machine gun nest. The enemy was dug in on a ridge almost 3 kilometers away, far beyond the effective range of anyone else in her unit. Panic began to set in. Their position was exposed, and every passing second brought another hail of deadly fire. The commander, his face grim, turned to her. He knew her reputation from training, the quiet whispers of her impossible shots on the range, but this was real. "The nest is at 2,700 meters, he said, his voice tight with desperation. "If you miss, we all die." The weight of dozens of lives settled on her shoulders. She didn't flinch. She simply set up her rifle, her movements deliberate and calm. She closed her eyes for a moment, shutting out the chaos. She exhaled, slowly, finding the quiet space, the perfect rhythm between her own heartbeats, and at 2,700 meters. She reminded the world why distance was never a shield. One shot. One thunderous crack that echoed through the canyon, followed by an abrupt, deafening silence. The machine gun stopped. The ambush was broken. Dozens of lives were saved. That day, her name was whispered with reverence. Her legend was born. Back in the present, the general is still processing the number on her badge, the story he just heard from the whispers around him. The silence is broken by his next question, his voice still hushed, respectful. 3,200 meters, he repeats, as if trying to comprehend the physics of it. Sue is on the other end of that shot. He's asking about the target, the enemy commander. The high-value individual who warranted such an extraordinary feat. Her answer, once again, is not what he expects. She doesn't speak of enemies or targets. She speaks of principles. A man who thought distance made him untouchable, she says, her gaze distant for a moment, as if seeing that day all over again. But no one is untouchable. Sir, not when you respect the wind. It's a lesson. A philosophy forged in the crucible of combat. It's not about the kill. It's about the mastery of the craft, the understanding that nature holds the final say. The general nods slowly, a profound understanding passing between them. He's met countless warriors, but he has never met anyone like her. Later that day, the general asks her to walk with him and a group of fresh-faced recruits. He wants them to see what a true professional looks like. As they walk, the recruits buzz with excitement, peppering her with questions about her rifle, her scope, her longest shot. These see the legend, they see the badge, but they don't see the weight behind it. She didn't brag, she didn't pose for them. Because legends don't celebrate their shadows. They carry them. The reality of her job is a burden, not a trophy. Finally, in a moment of quiet honesty, she turns to the general, but her words are meant for the young soldiers hanging on her every word. I wasn't steady, sir, she confesses, her voice barely above a whisper. My hands shook, my heart raced, every time. The trick isn't being fearless. No one is fearless. The trick is pulling the trigger anyway. The recruits stare at her, their expressions transformed. The heroic fantasy in their minds dissolves, replaced by a sobering, more powerful truth. Courage wasn't the absence of fear. It was acting in spite of it. As the day ends, the setting sun paints the desert base in brilliant shades of red and gold. The heat of the day subsides, leaving a cool, peaceful stillness. Strength didn't make her a legend. Countless soldiers were stronger. Precision did, patience did. The quiet, unwavering courage to act when the world demanded it, when everything was on the line. The general watches her walk away, her silhouette framed against the vibrant sky, the long, dark shape of her rifle resting on her shoulder. She wasn't just a sniper. She was a testament to a different kind of power. She was proof that even in a world defined by chaos and brute force, precision can still be art, and a legend can be forged, not in the clamor of battle, but in the profound silence of a single, perfect shot. Thanks for watching. If you were captivated by this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more legends carved in silence.